Well, I think we need to be very careful on our language here. What we don't want to do is to trigger a wider conflict. And I think that Sajid Javid, I listened to him very carefully on the Today programme this morning, was very clear in a very measured tones that NATO would act if any of NATO territory, i.e. if there was an attack of any sort on Poland or any other NATO country. But I think actually, as things stand, NATO will not get actively involved. Yes, we'll send defensive weapons as we have been. The UK has been sending defensive weapons, and we will continue to do that. But as to offensive action, I don't think we will do that, or NATO would want to do that, unless it was actually attacked in some way itself.
In saying that, we've reflected, haven't we, over the last couple of weeks about how well, in many regards, surprisingly well, it must be said, the Ukrainians have done so far. But in the end, the greater military might of Russia is likely to prevail, maybe with even more and more devastating consequences. Do you get the calls and the pleas from people saying that we cannot just stand by and allow Russia to essentially decimate a large number of Ukrainian cities, that standing back and doing nothing didn't do us any good in Syria? In fact, it may well have emboldened Putin in part to take this action.
Well, I think we've got to be very careful about all of this. I do think you're right that I think a large proportion of Ukraine is going to be destroyed and significant numbers of people are going to be killed. But as I say, what we don't want to do, I think, is to try in any way encourage President Putin to widen this conflict into either NATO countries or other European countries.